It's your boy.
3, 2, 1, boom, and we're live. Got my man.
That's right.
My other half at Eminem, Brian, the B Train.
That's right.
Breton, aka the B in R&B.
Yeah, cuz.
We smooth.
We smooth, man.
And yeah, we've been trying to make this happen for a while.
Yeah.
Thankfully, you know, the coronavirus came along and gave us this opportunity. And, you know, now we're making it happen. So
Yeah, man. We got to make the best of what we can out of it, you know?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So I want to first start off by saying thank you so much for having me here, because I've seen all the work you've been doing prior to me being here, like having your guest on board, and I've seen through like this transparent like glass what you've been doing behind the scenes that a lot of people don't be seeing it, like your hustle, what you're doing.
Thank you, bro.
Always on your laptop and typing things out and making sure everything's going towards the right platforms and stuff like that. So I know what it is that you do, and it's great.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, you already know the production life, like, has so much more to it than what someone just sees the final product of, like, a video edited or whatever.
Yeah.
And, I mean, getting to you got your hands in a million different things as far as, like, outside of what we do here at the studio. And, you know, obviously I see you, like, posting all these, like, crazy, like, put together, like, baptism videos.
Thanks,
Shout out to my man, Greg Lassiter.
For pointing that out.
For being a complete jerk.
Yeah.
And hating on my man.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, between that and, like, the wedding videos and
Yeah.
the suit guys.
Yeah.
Like, those videos are sick. And
Thanks,
like,
man. Appreciate it.
you know, I feel like there's so many people in our generation that, like, call themselves photographers or videographers or whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, you really, you know, go out there and show it rather than just hyping yourself up as
True.
that. And constantly, it's not like every once in a while. Like, I feel like you're constantly putting out different, like, professional-ass, like, pieces of work. And it's just, I'm blown away because I'm like, damn, like, maybe I do the podcast, but I'm not that great of an editor. You know, like, obviously, like, I know how to edit, being that we help people all day with, like, you know, editing questions and shit. But
Yeah.
as far as, like, just the way that you, I guess, make the shots look, like, really, like, established well, and then, like, the lighting and the white balance is great on it. On, like, I guess
Yeah.
whatever camera that you shoot on. What is that, by the way?
I shoot with a Sony A6500.
Okay.
So it's a mirrorless camera,
Right.
mirrorless body.
4K?
Yeah, 4K.
Okay.
And it's been holding me down ever since.
Yeah.
For like a good maybe year and a half maybe now.
Yeah.
I think I've been having it.
Yeah.
Got myself a little Christmas gift for it, and I was like, oh man, this is amazing.
Hell yeah.
But,
one of the things you didn't order off of Wish.
Nah, man. The many things that I ordered, that thing stopped for me. I started finding random things in my shopping cart. Like one time I went to go on Wish, and I was like, oh, let me see what kind of products I can buy. And out of nowhere in my cart, the shopping cart, there was bras. And I was like, I was not shopping around for this. So I wanted to find out how I could find out, like, oh, is somebody hacking me or whatever? And I was like, I don't even want to deal with this. So
Might have been on one of the work computers, maybe Anna or something.
Yeah, someone just like going through my account, trying to just throw stuff in and use my Wish points. And I'm like, wow, that's not going to take you far.
Honestly, maybe it was my man, Corey Bryce, getting it for his significant other.
That is funny. His partner.
Exactly. To be specific, his partner.
Specifically.
But yeah, no, like, I guess that camera really works wonders, and you obviously know what you're doing with it. You know, if you gave that to someone like me, it would take me quite a bit to really figure it out. I mean, you take the time out, and even when you're not doing those crazy professional, you know, gigs or whatever, you've got your own side comic type you know, situation where you do like funny, like meme video type format pieces. Yeah. And they're just great, you know what I mean? Like funny and just, you know, different and
Yeah.
Beyond that, it's just completely different than what we do here, and also different from like the professional aspect of all the shit that you're doing.
I didn't even think about that. That is so true.
Yeah, like it's like being like a stand-up comic, but then also I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a good side analogy to that. Dejour would just say it's like going to the post office to say, is this the post office? Or
yeah, that analogy is so like weird.
Shout out to Dave Thomas.
That's right.
Had to bust his balls because I'm sure he's watching this and laughing right now.
Yeah, but what's interesting is like you're telling me all these things, and like I don't really get that kind of very in-depth, comments about what I do. Because, like, as you said earlier, like, there's people who call themselves videographers, photographers, and all the other types of arts and crafts that are out there. But hard to believe it. Like, it's hard for me to call myself a videographer because I do it so often, but I don't think I'm that good.
Yeah.
And people are telling me, like, nah, man, like, your stuff is sick, your stuff is great. And I'll look at it and I'm like, but I didn't think that when I was editing it. I was just piecing it together.
I think that's part of the reason, though, that you're good is, like, you don't let it get to your head. You're not, like, egotistical, but you're confident when you actually do the productions. And,
okay.
You don't even let any of that shit come to mind. You know, you just do the work at hand.
Yeah.
The best way you know how to. It comes out good, and then afterwards you can look back and be like, oh, like, I guess I am pretty legit.
Yeah.
But better to be that way than to up front, hype yourself up, and then when you get to that, be like, oh shit, maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was.
Yeah.
So
like hyping yourself up, but you can't deliver what you're saying you're good at or whatever.
Exactly, and I know plenty of people that are like that. Yeah. Where they're like, dude, I can do this for you, this, that, and the third, and then they don't even show up, and it's like, you can't. Not only can you not do that skill, you couldn't even show up. Which is like the easiest thing to do.
Or like try it and actually like be like, oh, I messed up, or I didn't learn this technique, so I wasn't that good at that.
Exactly. I feel like there's something to be said about people who follow through with like things that they set their minds to, or or tell people that they're gonna do.
Yeah.
Like in this day and age, a lot of people are just all talk, and I don't like people like that.
I feel like it's a part of the challenge, because it's like if you told me to do XYZ, like a job or like a video style or something, like I probably wouldn't say I don't know how to do it, so I won't do it. I'd probably be like, no, I'll tackle it. I'll do it to the best of my knowledge. And if I succeed in it, then I'm like, whoa, I just gained a new skill that I didn't really know I knew how to do.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what a lot of things are like able for people to attain when they just try anything. Because there's so many things you can do where it's just like, just try any little thing. Whatever you really good at or you didn't know you were good at and now you like it, you just unlocked something. Like life points. Like you literally just got given a gift and now you're just running away with it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Even like I know that you were kind of like making beats like just as a joke or whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, you look at like how you can be creative like musically, and like that's not something that you do very frequently. So
exactly.
When you do that, you're like, oh shit, this is actually pretty good. Like I can do this. I didn't realize that I could.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
And like you're saying, then you open up like a new like not only confidence but just like ideal. A whole like different world of like ideas of like I can make videos with this. I can just have fun.
Yeah.
Like maybe I can get good at this if I really want to. So
yeah, I feel like that's like we're characters in the world.
Yeah.
And you don't know what you're good at until you take on that like challenge, and then you unlock that achievement.
Exactly.
And it's like, oh shoot, I unlocked this thing about myself that I could actually be good at.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's really interesting. We're like blank slates, and I mean, they say you're writing your own story or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, it really is. I know, as corny as that sounds, it is true though, because it's like, you're everyone's born at the same, like, you're just a baby, like you haven't done anything yet, but then you go to school, everyone's kind of on the same level a little bit. Maybe some people are in honors classes and some people aren't.
Mm-hmm.
Then people go on to college and they do these different, like, majors and get into these different fields where some people don't end up going to college. So at that point in time, those people that are going to college, I don't mean to, like, hate, because if people go like don't go to college, they could still get into skilled trades and shit, and boom, they unlock that achievement of like, you know, got a job, a career job, making good money, and learn how to, like, say a mechanic, like, can fix cars. Like, who would have thought that you would have been able to fix cars? You know, like, when I was just, like, a little kid or whatever, obviously I liked TV, but I never thought that I would have been working in TV. You know, like, but I don't know. It's just, like, you pick, like, what you want to do in high school for college, and it's like, well, I kind of like, you know, editing videos. And I feel like the time that we kind of came up, it was, like, an interesting time for, like, you know, Premiere was just, like, kind of new still and whatever else. Like, when I was in high school, we were doing it on PCs, and they were slow as shit. Yeah. And, like, it took forever to make, like, even one edit. Yeah. You know? Like, crazy slow.
Meanwhile, the people who, like, cut actual film strips together were like, are you kidding me? Like,
exactly.
Complaining about a PC with, like, low memory and, like, all this stuff, and we're all over here like, like, wait, what?
Yeah.
They're like, nah, we used to cut the actual thing, and we're like, nah, like, I don't want to do that.
You don't even understand how tough this is.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like Windows Movie Maker.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, like, it's just interesting that, like, we end up in these different, like, positions in life, and open up new opportunities for ourselves, and then, like, you know, you start this new phase of your life, and then you have different hobbies that you have the opportunity to pick up now.
Of course.
You know, just like and it's interesting also, given, like, the geographic, like, region that you live in too.
Yeah.
You know? Like, we're in fucking New York City, so it's like you can do anything. that you want to do.
Yeah.
You know, like, you can friggin' learn how to ride, like, a unicycle.
Yeah.
If you want, you know, like, I know it's New York City, so it's a little busy, but there's someone here that, you know, was probably giving classes or some shit. Whereas, like, if you're in, like, Wisconsin, I don't think that you're really gonna to be able to find someone like that. You know?
More limited. You know, type of interest, and that's how I feel like it is when you gravitate towards an interest. And that starts to unravel your personality, what you're interested in, what you're becoming, because you find yourself wanting to be around those kind of people who also do that.
Exactly.
And, like, that's beautiful, because when you're in a community of people who are like-minded, then you're all kind of more or less going towards the same goal.
Yeah.
Where you're, like, picking up on something that this person knew, and then you like reciprocate it back. You send them some information, they send it back to you, and now you're, like, both growing, and everybody's just like, whoa, like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So, like, going back, like, in school and stuff, like, that's how it's always been. You know, like, you get in, like, a little department, and you just start working on each other's projects. And being, like, in this, like, kind of field where it comes to production, it's just, like, it's never ending. It's just, as far as your imagination is, that's how far it's going to go.
Exactly.
Which is endless.
Exactly. I mean, like, just as, like, an artist, like, they'll never run out of shit to draw.
Exactly.
You know, like, your mind is always going to be visualizing, you know, like, they call it visual arts. Like, you're always going to be, like, picturing something that, or imagining something, you know, like, your imagination still exists. And, and you see different things every day. So those things attribute to, like, what you're going to possibly think up. And you know, like, the internet is a huge influence. Like, this show, for example, like, I feel like I kind of base the set and everything off of Joe Rogan's, like, looking at each other across the table with the microphones. And, like, you know, just the whole concept, you know, like.
And I totally agree. Like, even right now, like, when you were telling me about it, like, us doing the show, and I'm like, now I'm visualizing it, like, how it's actually going to go by. I'm not going to just walk in here blindly, completely have no idea what it's going to possibly look like, and be like, I'm here. It's like, no, it's like I kind of had a preconceived idea. I've seen your past shows. So I'm like, all right, I see how it goes back and forth between a guest and a host. I knew that the colors were going to be red and blue, more or less, unless you changed it, the whole dynamic. But yeah, when it comes to, like, visualization, that's when you can visualize something in your mind, which is a gift that we have, and then actually manifest it, which is, like, crazy that I don't want to say that people take it for granted, but people can take it for granted.
People absolutely take it for granted. But would you say that that's kind of the way that you come up with these different, like, little skits that you put out, as far as, like,
Yeah.
Like the Instagram meme, like video skits that you put out.
Man, that, and even when it comes to like the professionalism, the last shoot I did with the suit company, the very last video was totally me walking into a space, and I literally was just I said to the guy who's the CEO of it, I pulled him to the side because he was like fixing some guy's like clothing for a photo shoot.
Right.
And I was telling him, I was like, do you mind if I just, and I explained it to him. It just like, for him, it was just like a bunch of information. He goes, I want you to do it. Like, I don't know what you just said, but I know you have an idea, so run with it. I ran with it, and it became like this great success where people are like, yo, that was dope. And I'm here like, was it really though? And like, not me to be like, oh, but it's just like, I know how it could have been better.
Yeah.
Is what I'm basically saying. I know, like, when I was in post-production, I was looking at it like, it could have been better. But people are like, it was great. And I'm like, I get it, but it could have been better. But then, like, that visualization is how I go, like, forward with things, where it's just like, I'm in a space, I got to work with what I have. Boom, let's start it.
So you're saying because you had to kind of impromptuly visualize it, it didn't come out necessarily the exact way that you wanted to, even though you were kind of given the reins of like, you know, do this afterwards, and after you had more time and after you saw the space and everything, and while you were editing it, that's kind of where it came to you like, shit, I see other possibilities of how it could have been better.
No, not even, because the shoot itself, when I did the shot, because it was one take.
Oh, okay.
That one
almost instantly after, right?
It was like I did that one take, and I told myself, like, after I did it, I was like, wow, that's exactly how I imagined it. Like, it was just like that. I told the guys, like, I directed it, told them to come down the stairs, do this, do that, do this. Yeah. So that's how I pictured it. But then there were other little technical things in post-production that I'm like, oh, well, maybe I could have put like a filter on the window so that way people could see like anything like cars driving by or something like that. Right. But I was like crunching on time. Right. So we were just trying to bust some kind of content out. And the fact that I didn't walk in there already saying I want to do a one-take shot. I was going in there to actually produce like many clips, just random stuff that I knew would have worked what it was there for. Right. But then when I came to like do separate shots, because I was doing behind the scenes work, I was like, no, I just want to do the actual thing I thought of. And that's when I pitched it to him. He was like, run with it.
Oh, that's amazing.
So I was like, cool.
Well, I mean, and again, that's the important thing, is that you kind of had a premeditated type of visualization of what you wanted to do. Even though, like you said, you weren't like trying to be so spontaneous with like the one-time shot type thing, but it just the way that it worked out, and you know,
and it worked.
It worked, and you were happy, and that's.
I was happy. They were happy.
That's ultimately why you kind of do your like pre-production type thing, you know, because you don't want to have to be like stressing while you're doing it. You kind of plan your like what your shots out, whether you write it down or if you just even like think about it beforehand. That's important, and I feel like that's like a good reason why a lot of your things turn out so like high end and whatever. Is
Thank you, man.
You don't just like half-ass it. You know, there's a lot of people that, again, are really confident in themselves, and then things end up turning out not so great. And it's like, well, listen, maybe you should have kind of gave yourself that competition, like that challenge. Yeah. Because I feel like people, when they're hungry, they definitely work that much, you know, harder than someone who's just comfortable. Mm-hmm. They say the same thing about like the UFC fights. Yeah. You know, like the champion isn't really as worried or as hyped up usually as the challenger in a championship fight, because I mean the challenger is like going for everything, whereas the champions already felt that success. Yeah. And they don't feel like they have to fight for it as much. And I mean that's just that's people's mentalities, you know. Yeah. Like, I'm the best. I don't have to work that hard for it. I know I'm gonna do fine.
That's a big mistake.
And then, they're like, why is Brian's work better than mine? And it's like, listen, dude, you should have taken that extra, 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes and put something together, and maybe your content would have been that much better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, my point of all this is just saying that you're doing a lot of cool, like, professional things, and you need to be, praised for it. So
thank you, man. I'm over here like, I'm trying to like reduce the smile on my face. I'm like, come on, man, you got this, and I'm like.
But yeah, so beyond all that, like I was saying, you do the skits. So, but you were telling me earlier this week that you kind of have cut back a little bit because you're trying to promote your high end self more. Yeah. Rather than just like. And it's not a bad thing either.
No, not at all. Not at all.
You were really pumping out those comedy skits.
Yeah.
Left and right, and they were all really funny, which is like a good thing too. It's not like, a bunch of like not so funny type things. Yeah. So to be able to do all that, I understand why you probably like, I need to switch it up and get back into like, really doing some things that I feel like are more important, I guess you would say.
Yeah, I would say important and also like enlightening in a way, because like when you surround yourself basically around a certain group or a work ethic, that's when you start gravitating to that more. So I'm thinking to myself, if I want to continue pumping out like professional content, I'm gonna start doing that a little bit more. Yeah. Because the other what would you call it, like a persona, I guess, right, or something like that. The Banana Bit one, that one is strictly just whatever I want to pump out that has nothing to do with a client possibly seeing it per se, I'll put it out. Yeah. And it could be anything. It could be like visual compositing for video or visual effects for photography, or even just me on a mountain taking a photo of a tree. Like, it could be anything, because to me it's more of like a self-expression. Right. And I feel like people have the right to express however they want, but I like to kind of be very conscious of my balance. Right. Which is like my professional stuff that I pump out, and then my whatever I want, Exactly. Because it's healthy. It's healthy for you to be able to express who you are and what you do, and whichever route you decide to do it. But as long as it's balanced, it's not too excessive on one end or too excessive on the other. So that's how I found like Banana Bit for me was a nice little, let me do my comedic things, because I feel like I have a comedic lifestyle. Like I literally known that since the day I was born, basically. Like everything that's ever happened to me is just funny. Yeah. And I just go, why me? But like I guess sometimes I'll be like, why me? Yeah. But then there's other times where I'm like, why me? Like I'll make something funny out of it. Exactly. So I'll take any like scenario I have at home and like turn it into like kind of like what memes are like these days. Like, it was like, when this happens to you, exactly, this happening on this day, like
relatable instances that are annoying, or just show the person like irritated or whatever,
stubbing your toe,
and not only that, just like social situations where like a girl, on Tinder or something like that, just like that's just an example. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like you've done like all different types of scenarios like that.
Oh, they're hilarious.
And, they're always great. But
because it's based off truth. Like, there are moments in my life where I've like, just spoke to a person about something and they give me like a weird and I'm like, wait, I'm not doing anything weird, I think, at least. Yeah. So then I'll translate it into like, oh, when someone who's actually being weird to you is thinking you're weird, and you're like, whoa, what the hell?
That is actually a good point too. Like, I feel like, even though you were saying that you were just like joking about it or whatever, that is definitely true. So there's some people that like, I'm the same way, and I feel like you and I are always like, we're always on the same page,
finishing each other's
sentences.
But I was gonna say it, and I was like, wait, let him say it.
But all day at work, we're always on the same page, and it's just like out in the real world the same way. Like, I feel like people do like annoying shit that like you and I are just trying to be like good, normal, like upholding citizens of society, but like if something pisses us off, like we can't help but like. Make note of it or like laugh about it or just like vent about it or whatever you want to say.
Or it'll be like a very internalized thought that you have yourself, and you're like, no, I'm pretty sure other people feel like this.
Yeah.
Like, so I had this skit where it's like a coworker asking you like, oh, I'm about to run out. You want something?
Yeah.
In your mind, you internalize, well, are you gonna pay for it for me,
exactly.
or like, or am I gonna give you money? You're gonna go do it.
Exactly.
And we come across it all the time because you always go to Starbucks.
Oh yeah. For me though, like I don't. Yeah. I mean, like in that scenario, I don't give a shit. Like I'll just get anybody whatever. It's just that way I can go out for a little while.
Yeah. But that was an example that I had internalized at one point when I was working, and I'm like, I could totally do this because I'm pretty sure other people who've been asked that question also think that.
Oh yeah.
Like.
Yeah, I like I said, I found myself laughing at a bunch of those that you've put out just because same shit has happened to me. So
yeah, because it was funny. I remember like the first time that's how I realized I got into adulthood, was when I first went to work and someone asked me like, oh, I'm about to run to the store, you want something? And I was like, oh yeah, I made like a whole grocery list. Give me this, and this. And they're like, okay, where's the money?
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
Like, my whole mind was blown. I was like, wait, what?
Money? Yeah, what money?
Money. Never heard of it.
Yeah, exactly. No, but I mean, like that. The topics that come up are always hysterical because I can always relate to them. But I had another thought that I was going to get to, but I was just so engaged in what we were just talking about. That happens to me too. I'll get like excited about one thing and I'm like, don't forget. And then your brain forgets it and you're like, shit, what was I just about to say? Like, how did I possibly just forget? I was literally just thinking about that not 1 second ago. It just disappeared. My brain took it. It was like the SpongeBob episode where he's got all the SpongeBobs in his brain.
Oh yeah.
And they just take like the filing cabinets and shred everything. And he's just said,
destroy everything. Yeah, everything other than fine dining and breathing. That is hilarious,
dude. I feel like SpongeBob was so relatable.
Oh my gosh.
To this generation and to life at this point in time. And just like, I mean like. It's like a very iconic thing. Like, I didn't realize how relatable it was going to be when I was a kid watching it. Though. Yeah, I mean, like it was funny and even to this day, like there's like you watch like other kid cartoons that you might have watched back in the day. Like I watched Fairly Odd Parents recently. It wasn't so funny, but SpongeBob, like, oh man, it's timeless. It's still just as funny. And I don't know. I mean, like I'm grateful that I got to experience that and growing up in like the early to mid 90s and like not having cell phones and shit because kids nowadays probably don't even watch cartoons and don't even understand. I mean, like obviously when they're super young, I feel like all kids like now they all have tablets that they watch their shit on. But, they'll never understand SpongeBob, No,
like, not the way we did.
Kids nowadays don't even like SpongeBob. I feel like it's not the same, Like, he's like a pop culture icon, so like people know him like no matter what. Like, they have like the figure in Times Square.
Yeah, exactly. But they have like a whole mall in Jersey like dedicated to that. The American Dream Mall.
To SpongeBob.
Yeah, it's like a Nickelodeon based thing, but there's like huge SpongeBob like
that just recently opened, I think.
Yeah.
The Nickelodeon World.
Yeah, exactly. That
right. Yeah, that's cool. Man, Nickelodeon was like the shit back in the day. I never made it down to the studios or whatever. That was always something that I wanted to do because like I always had like friends or whatever that just like got like slimed and shit in like Nickelodeon studios, and it's like, fuck you guys.
I feel like so betrayed because it's like we grew up with Nickelodeon and then now they have like the Nickelodeon theme park, and it's like I don't have time to go over there. So what kid that we knew like it's not gonna happen. Like the kids growing up now, they're gonna just see it and be like, "Ooh, SpongeBob," and it's like we want to go, like we want to ride these rides.
They don't even understand like what they're experiencing when they go there at that point in time. Like, like
so much.
I'm gonna need you to stop and watch all of SpongeBob first, and then maybe you can come. But
that's like if they introduced us like a a Flintstones, you know, or
Park
like
when we were
Wacky
younger.
Racers, because
Yeah.
we're like, that's our parents like liking
Exactly.
those things. For us to go there,
We
we're
didn't
gonna
watch
be
that
like,
shit. Yeah, it didn't make any. It wouldn't make any sense.
yeah.
No, that's super like true.
Could you
And,
imagine like the Jetsons theme park, and we're like, I get it, but like our parents would be like, whoa, like this is awesome.
This is sick. Like I want to go.
Yeah.
No, that's very true.
That's what's happening to us. But yeah.
No, I mean, me and you would be quoting SpongeBob all day.
Yeah.
And, it's always funny. Like, what was it last week? Someone was trying to fix something, a microphone. They're like, "Why is the microphone not working?" And you and I were there, and I said, "Did you set it to 1 bar?"
Yeah. Or like when everybody's finally here, we're like, the gang's all here.
The gang's all here.
That is hilarious.
SpongeBob is too relatable. Yeah.
Oh man, I left my water up here. Probably should have left it
Oh, it's all
down there.
good. Hey man, keep the water away from the equipment, bro.
Whoop.
9:08 on Friday, March
13th.
Oh,
It's Friday the 13th. And you know what's the crazy part? My oldest brother's name is Jason. And today's his birthday.
What?
Yep.
Motherfucker's gonna kill
Jason
someone
Friday
tonight.
the 13th. No lie.
Him and Crystal Fart. Killing someone tonight. You know who actually texted me before the show was shout out to my man Bearded Doug.
Hey.
Doug G.
Nice.
Him and Bearded Legend, who's actually shout out Bearded Legend as well. He's performing tonight in Salt Lake City, and good luck, bro. You're
Good
gonna
luck,
do great.
man.
Kill it out
That's
there.
dope.
And so Doug texted me and said, "Bro, where's the address for that haunted mansion that you went to?" I told you that story, right?
I don't know.
On Long Island, me and my buddies ended up at this abandoned mansion in the middle of like the woods, in this like creepy, like eerie town, like a couple towns away from mine, where it's like very wooded. And
Yeah.
shit. You go down this like long road, and all of a sudden there's like this, like it's like houses on one side, and then there's like woods on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just like this random opening in the woods, and it used to be like this this person's mansion back in the day.
Oh, okay.
Back in I think like the 20s or the 40s or some shit. And this guy was mad rich, but it I don't know if it's legitimately haunted, but it is the creepiest friggin' thing I've ever seen. It's called the Shattuck Estate, and it's something out of like a horror movie. And Doug G wanted to hit it up tonight because it's Friday the 13th.
That is wild.
A very big horror buff alongside Bearded Legend, but
Wow.
obviously Legend couldn't make it tonight because he's out in Utah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I texted him back. I'm like, dude, you're crazy that you want to hit up that friggin' abandoned mansion on Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like, I mean, it's like it's not creepy enough. You got to do it on the like considered a creepy, and it's like
Seriously.
it's like warm out and like windy and shit.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like it's got like the makes to be like real friggin' weird, you know?
Yeah.
It's got one of those spiral staircases with like a huge one, not like a small one, with like the chair that you can sit on,
And it like rolls you all the way up.
yeah,
You're like,
exactly,
"Whoa."
along like the banister or whatever. But man, that is the creepiest shit. Like, and me and a bunch of my friends went back in the day, and we were like walking through the house, and just like so many bad things like kept happening.
That is wild.
And we had to like break through to even get in, like break in. Like it was like basically bolted shut.
Mhm.
With, like it was boarded up. We broke down like the boards to get into the house.
Yeah.
Man, the stupid shit you do when you're young. It's
Oh
like,
man.
I would never do that nowadays.
Yeah.
You know, like
You started realizing how like valuable your life is as like an adult. You're like,
Yeah.
why would I do that?
Yeah. I was definitely a lot more reckless when I was younger, but I just thought that was funny that Doug wanted to do that because it's creepy.
I don't know why. When you was explaining the fact that there's a mansion and that it's haunted, I just pictured like we all go someday and it's like you just walking in and you hear like like a beat and you're like, what the hell? And you see like a guy in a Frankenstein costume like dancing and I'm like, all right, I gotta go. Like that's the cue for me to leave. I don't know why.
It actually turns into this like beautiful like mansion.
Yo, like a whole palace.
It was like a surprise party.
Oh man.
And they just like dressed it up as this like haunted mansion to keep the element of the surprise.
Yeah.
Like, you thought you were going to this like creepy ass thing.
It's like the greatest things that the world could ever like give you, like in terms of like great companions, nice people, and like all this amazing stuff, and you're just like running away, going home, and like I'll just pass.
Yeah, I mean the hike through the woods that you have to do, it's in the pitch like black dark, like you can't see shit.
Yo.
And when we were doing this back in the day, this was like, I don't want to say it's the time before cell phones, but it was the time before smartphones. So like little ass like light screens, like, you know, showing the path, and like 4 people's cell phones just to see like anything, you know, like
that is creepy.
Needed like all the light you can get and just like lighters and shit.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know. Something about the dark I'm no fan of, you know? I do not like the dark. And
it's funny enough, I tagged you in that video of SpongeBob being in Rock Bottom, where he was at the bus station, and he's like, I'm gonna wait, I'll be here in the morning waiting for like the bus person to open up again, and then the lights cut off, and he's like, it's dark. He goes, but it's darker, like basically darker than dark. He goes, it's advanced darkness. And then he closes his eyes and he's like, oh wow, looks not bad. And then like he hears a sound and he's like running now. Yo. He goes, I'm walking, running, sprinting, boom.
That episode is amazing.
That part would have me so funny because he's like really trying to fool himself psychologically, like, oh no, it's not that dark. Close my eyes. Oh, see, it's not that bad. Like, what the?
He's like psychotic at that point.
Yeah, he's like delusional.
But exactly. I feel like a lot of the shit that SpongeBob did was just like batshit crazy.
That was so funny.
But like, almost like necessary, you know, because you had like a miserable piece of shit like Squidward, like always trying to like bring down the mood, even though he thought he was trying to be realistic. But like SpongeBob was this like free spirit that always like thought of like the best possible you know, outcomes and shit. It was just, I don't know, a funny thing. But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm like, I guess with the coronavirus, everything that's going on, I'm like in a weird state of mind with the podcast tonight. What else is going on? I mentioned to you before the show that after my podcast with Cooney the Music Man this past Monday night, by the way, shout out Cooney the Music Man. Go check him out on his website and buy his The Movement album. But yeah, after the episode that me and him did Monday night, my subscribers went up like 5-6 subscribers, which like that sounds like nothing, but y'all never subscribe when I ask you to. So,
and I'll be sharing your stuff. I'm like, yo, guys,
it's not even
Stillwaggon Symposium.
It's not even about you, but hopefully now that they see this episode, they know to subscribe. And what I hope that you do is continue to share at least this episode.
Oh yeah, I mean, of course.
And be like, yo, subscribe to my man, because it's weird that like people will creep and watch and downvote my shit, but they won't like it, they won't upvote it, and they won't subscribe. YouTube is such a weird thing.
Dang. To take that energy to do that?
Yeah, like damn, all you got is hate in your
Could you imagine like someone's just chilling at home and they're like, I feel like unsubscribing somebody. Where's that Stillwaggon Symposium? Maybe I could have one less thing to pop up on my feed. Like, damn, really?
How can I ruin his mood for the night?
Oh, man.
Unsubscribe to him. You know what? Let me see who else is subscribed. See if I can pay them off and get them to unsubscribe too. You know?
They're like, I'm miserable. I want to make somebody else miserable too. Unsubscribe.
It's going down.
Yeah. That's wrong.
I know. It's tough getting people to appreciate your product, especially like podcasts are interesting because like, you know, it's like an extended there's never a set time, and
Yeah.
it's like an extended kind of platform where like people aren't watching TV, but I feel like people are on YouTube or like listening to Spotify or Apple Podcasts enough where like they will listen to shit like this, but either they won't acknowledge the fact that they did and like I'll never know, or like beyond that, like I said, they don't like it or subscribe to it, and but they will watch it, and it's like I'll see the views going up, and I'm like, why are the views going up, but people can't take that extra second to like, like you've gone this far, like it's like saying like I'm gonna go on a road trip to California and like driving to like Utah, which is like right next to California, and then being like, you know what, I'm good. Yeah. Like, what?
That's hilarious.
Like, I can see California, so that's good enough for me.
That is so
like,
funny.
Go the distance, people. Like, spread the love.
Yeah.
I feel like there's not enough, like, building up of one another in today's society. And it's like, the way that you and I are, and, like, there's other personalities, like I said, with Greg's Jet, and Nat is mad cool. Shout out Nat Wood. Hubert Guy, shout out my man Hubert Guy. Yeah. There's certain people with good energy that like do try to hype you up and give you that like, positive support type situation. But then there's a lot of people that either they're not direct about it, but it's just you and I are both like we have good judge of character and like can see people where like for what they are. Yeah. And even though we try to see the best in people, like we're not stupid, And I feel like in that sense, like it's just annoying when you give someone like good energy or whatever, and then they end up like screwing you over or just like lying to you, like I was talking about earlier, saying that they'll like, let's do a shoot, bro. Like I got you with this, and then like they
don't come through with it.
Yeah, and like you're expecting them to come through, and then they don't come through. Yeah, it's like, damn, like I kind of needed that person, But like, I'm not surprised. Yeah, because like, the two of us, I feel like we're both like at this point in time, people have burned us already to the point where we're like, all right, like I don't trust you unless like you prove yourself. Of course. You know what I'm saying?
Of course. And like not for nothing, I'm not perfect in any way, shape, or form. Neither am I. In our own way. Yeah. But there's a sad thing to realize when you like what you explained about the community of people who like don't really like I don't want to. I get they hate in a sense because. Can I direct this to people?
Yeah, your camera.
All right, cool. I really want to just genuinely say this. I think the worst thing you can do is hate on somebody because you think they're better than them. Because if I were you, I would take that opportunity to learn what they do that makes them so much better than me. Absolutely. So why not, why be like, oh, this person's better than me at this and I don't want to affiliate myself with them. Wait, but they have a skill set that you're actually like trying to get to. Absolutely. So why don't you just directly put the ego away or your pride and just be like, yo, how did you do that? I want to know. I want to learn. I'm in this school of learning right now and I see that you can acquire this skill set and I want to learn it too. How do you do it? Just so you could not be like wasting your time now trying to be the bigger person and then try to find out on your own. When you could have been found out the answer right there from that person.
And I think that's the exact reason that you just said. It's because certain people can't acknowledge that they're not perfect, and they think they are. Yeah. And they can't put the ego aside, and they need to show that they never needed anyone, they never depended on anyone, and that they started from the bottom, now they're here, type.
Yeah, man.
Shout out Drake. But it's the truth, like, it's a really good point, what you were saying about, like, just knowing that, like you said, you're not perfect, but why not, like, why are you going to be jealous or, like, think that you're better than someone and you can't like learn from them. Like,
yeah.
I hate that. Like that's.
Like, this is all a learning process. Like, you just explained earlier that made me smile because I was like, oh, man, I'm getting mad good compliments about it. But, like, other people telling me myself, like, oh, like, you do this stuff and it looks, like, really dope. And, like, of course, they don't see what's behind the scenes of it. But, like, I didn't just pick up a camera and just do this. Like, hell no. Like, I was at the lowest tier of skill set.
Exactly.
And it was just, like, practice time and meeting individuals and really, like, linking up with people who have that same mindset. Because that's just how it is. When you put yourself in that kind of like group of that niche, it's like, all right, we're all gonna like learn and do all these things together. So I would not ever think like because someone's better than me, like, nah, it's not even worth my time. Like, no, I want to know how you did that because that's cool.
Exactly.
You know.
Well, and to flip the script, if you are, interested in learning and humble and you're kind of friendly and try to say like, hey, can you kind of show me your way or like ask certain questions, and they're kind of they're the type of person that like, nah, like, figure it out for yourself.
Yeah.
Then like those people suck too, because it's like, yo, I'm out here, I'm trying to be like cool with you, like I'm obviously willing to offer whatever I have to offer as well. Yeah. And I'm trying to be good energy towards you and be cool, like, yeah. Why you got to be selfish and afraid that like that I'm gonna be better than you at what you're doing, that you're
as if like, there's a shortage, like a shortage on demand of skill sets.
No,
like,
there's not.
Yo, just do it. Like, just do whatever. Like another part of that is like I like meeting people who ask me like, oh, how'd you do that? Or like, that was cool. Because if they're interested in learning, I can tell that they're genuinely like sincere about it.
Yeah.
So those are the type of people I'm like, I'm more than willing to tell you whatever it is that I did or how I do it, because I can tell you want to learn it too. And it just feels good for myself to be like, oh wow, I helped this person. You know?
Well, and another thing I'll say is like, working here, for example, like there's some people that like are fake interested in wanting to learn, but then when we go to explain it to them, they don't pay attention. Yeah. They never retain it. Then there are people that are willing to learn. They're a very small group, but willing to learn, and we do teach them. And then there are people that we try to teach them, and they didn't want to learn regardless.
True.
I feel like all those different types of people just need to kind of all come to the same mindset that, like, listen, be an open mind, and take anything that is being offered to you.
Yeah.
Like, you could be in the middle of Alaska living in a friggin' cabin, like my man Don John, shout out Don John. And you have to figure out everything for yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, like, not that he's working at a TV station in Alaska, but he's just in the middle of the wilderness.
Yeah.
And life is completely like there's no store to like go get more milk or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, my man has to do everything on his own.
Yeah.
So, it's just the matter of like, I don't know, just willingness to succeed and to be open-minded of trying new things and wanting to succeed.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to really say it, but some people just don't have the drive. Some people just don't.
And it's also like a chain reaction where, like, I feel like one of the greatest things you could do to like impact somebody is just inspire them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like being able to help certain individuals, like, think collectively. If we all helped each other, then there's little like links that are connected to how one of us inspired each other to do something.
Exactly.
So it's like you never know what you might actually put out there that someone will gravitate to and be like, wow, let me like learn this. And then now you just touch somebody else's, like their wisdom or like their knowledge to want to do something.
Exactly.
Their curiosity. Yeah. That's a big thing, because some people don't know what they're capable of doing until they become like very curious of it and start saying, oh, I want to try this, give it a try.
Yeah.
Like you said earlier, I was doing music. So I like, you know, people ask me like, oh, you do music? I fumbled around with a little bit here and there. But because that's not my like forte, I at least know how to deal with music files, MIDI files in my films. Yeah. You know? So like I may not be a musician, but I learned how to take a part of what a musician does and integrated it with what I do in terms of filmmaking.
Absolutely.
You know?
You know, sorry to go back to my guest from Monday night, but we were talking about how we both took web design classes in high school and college, and like we both have websites now, and I use Squarespace, so it's all pre-built, you know, like easy to fill in and whatever else. But it was nice to still be able to know the back end of the HTML coding and how the actual web design is written up, you know,
exactly.
The code for it, you know. I mean, like, if I never took those classes, like, I wouldn't have the same appreciation for it. And why not learn it, you know? Like, what do I have to lose, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, like...
you never know how much of an interest it might spark.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Like, that's the important thing about life, people, is that you need to try new things. It doesn't matter if you think that you might not like it. You'll never know unless you try it. Yeah. You know, the best way to you know for certain is experience and trying it, you know? as what's the
I totally forgot. I'm blanking the name right now. But that meme GIF thing. GIF. People say a bunch of different stuff.
It's GIF, dude.
It's YIF. It's a silent G.
You know, like yell?
Yeah.
Like the yells?
Yeah. Dang, I was about to go back to like what you were just saying about the important thing about life, like you were explaining, about you never know what you're good at until you try it, basically. But you know what's a big layer of that I just, like, now I'm like, I get it, what they mean. It's like, you have to be, like, ready to fail. That blew my mind. Like, I see it every time, like, people saying it and stuff like that, but I figured out what I think it means more is don't try, like, a lot of little things and then be like, oh, well, I failed at this, failed at this, failed at this. Because it's kind of like you didn't really try enough to really feel the failure.
Seriously.
You know?
Seriously.
So it's now where I'm really taking my professionalism with filmmaking to the point where, like, I'm trying to throw all my eggs in that basket because I want that high reward of, like, oh, well, I'm really doing it, you know? Yeah. Not just like, oh, let me put my foot in the cold water just a little bit and be like, oh, it's a little bad, it's a little bad. It's like, no, if it's going to be bad, let it be bad. Yeah. You know, because that's when you really learn. Yeah.
Well, and a field like filmmaking or just media, however you want to say, our industry is such a big pond for you to be a big fish in a big pond as opposed to, you know, just a small or medium sized, like, I kind of know what I'm doing or I'm pretty good at it, you know, like, no, this dude, like, you ask him to kind of figure out what you're looking for, and he just does it. You know, and it's like, and people, his clients are happy with the results. You know, and that's all that you can ask for. You know, I mean, you're providing a service that you're telling people what you can do. Yeah. You hold up your end of it, and it's because you take what you do really seriously. And I really appreciate what you were just saying about how don't try a bunch of little things and then just keep failing and be like, oh, well, I tried. You know, like, nah, like, yeah, you're allowed to fail, but even if you fail, like, I'm not great at the keyboard, but I've acknowledged that multiple times, and I keep coming back for more. Yeah. And keep playing it, and I can still play songs. I still know. I learn things each time I play it. Yeah. But, I mean, truth be told, I don't play it enough, and I'm lazy when I get home sometimes. But am I still interested? Yes. Yeah. Have I failed? Yes. But am I going to give up? Hell no. Exactly. Why? Because it's really cool. I mean, I want to show up to a party one day and just bang out a song. I was talking to my man the other night, and we were saying how I met him in guitar class, and he showed up and started playing a Vanessa Carlton song, that 1,000 Miles.
Oh, okay.
And like, it was incredible, on like one of the pianos that like in the music classrooms that they would have in high school.
Yeah.
And it was just like a professional ass song that he just nailed, and like it was because he's a musician, but he really took what the music aspect of his whole thing seriously. I mean, and I keep using him as an example, but it's like he's the same one who was saying like, oh man, I started playing trombone in 2nd grade, and now that's his main instrument. Yeah. And, 20-something years later. Yeah. Like, that says something about someone. He put all of his eggs in that basket. Yeah. He might have failed a couple of times, but
didn't give up.
No, and he's an incredible trombone player now. Yeah. And like, who the hell plays trombone? I mean, like, nothing against him. That's a compliment, because you figured out something that not a lot of people do. It's a unique instrument, cool sound, and he's mad good at it.
Yeah, exactly.
Same thing about, with you is like, I'm not saying about the music, but the filmmaking, we're in the same industry, but I'm not even on the same level. Like, I have my own 4K camera and shit. And like, I understand the premise of shooting and whatever, but I don't have the skills that you have, because you've put yourself that much more into it research-wise. You've done a ton more field shoots and worked with a ton of different cameras and lenses. Yeah. And I don't have that same experience and exposure, but I'm not mad about that. Like, I'm proud of you that you've done that shit.
Thank you, man.
That you are that well-versed. And I'm blessed that, you're one of my closest friends, and that I can be like, bro, how do I do this, or what's the deal with that?
Exactly.
The same way that we hassle my man Jordan West sometimes. he takes technology and he amplifies it to the millionth degree, because he wants to know every in and out imaginable, and I respect that, because I love technology too, but I haven't delved nearly as deep in as he has. But I am interested.
And he's willing to share it. Like,
but it's nice.
Here's the info.
It's nice to be able to learn that shit without spending all that time. Sometimes having a friend that's like specialized in certain ways like that. You know what exactly. I mean? Like, even though I'm involved in both, to know that, like, all right, instead of starting completely blank, if say I'm interested in something, I'd be like, yo, bro, what's the deal with this? Yeah. Then I'll get a backstory on it, and then I have somewhere to kind of start, a place to start at, rather than just random Google search, every result possible. Yeah. And it's just like, I don't know.
Because it'll just keep doing that. It'll be like if you wanted to learn like a piece of technology, you Google search that, and then you found the information about that. That's like all you really needed to know. Yeah. But I feel like he'll dive into like more depth, because it might lead into another piece of technology that's more than he even needed, but he likes it. Exactly. That's his interest. You know?
I mean, like, he's like a search engine where he's like related, like, searches, like,
yeah.
Did you also want to learn about this?
He's like, I didn't, but I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, just kind of on a tangent of different spewing facts,
Yeah. Like, he's come to me about, like, camera stuff, so that's how I know it's like, when you're in a group or like a setting of people who have like a certain thing that they are really interested in, and they're willing to share that information, I won't be like, nah, go figure it out yourself. I'm like, no, I'm happy to let you know what it is, and then he'll give me something about Chromecast or something I have no idea about.
Exactly. And I feel like you could say that about all of our like people in our department for the most part. Just, I mean, somewhat. We all kind of bring something to the table. Yeah. But, some more than others, and some nothing at all. Yeah. But
yeah, like, if society was like that, like, it'd be smoother. It'd be smoother in a way where you're not really hesitant to like write to somebody about a question. Like, I'm not. I'm really not. I'm very outspoken in the sense where, like, if I see on Instagram somebody's story about something, I will react to it and write something regarding it because, like, I'm interested. Like, I want to know what that was about.
Absolutely.
You
Same
know,
here.
I won't be like from a distance, like, oh, I don't know anything about it, so why should I even bother them about it? Like, no.
Yeah. If they're putting it out there, then why not acknowledge that
Yeah.
and also be like, what's the deal with this?
Of course.
You're clearly engaging people in starting a conversation about it.
Yeah.
So that's smart that you.
But then
you know.
also there's people who are like in a way where they'll share something and it's kind of like they don't really want you to write to them about it. It's kind of like, oh, let's just see my experience.
Yeah.
Don't really write to me about it.
Those people are the worst type of people on social media because they're just doing it for the likes and you know the specific
the acknowledgement of existence.
Yeah, exactly. They need the constant gratification that they're amazing, you know. And it's like, get over yourself.
Yeah.
You know. So, I mean, in that sense, I like the fact that, at least, you know, I know that you are too, but that I'm not, like, I'm realistic with myself, you know, and I feel like most people everyone needs to be realistic with themselves, but it's just a matter of, you know, I guess putting the ego aside and also just kind of stepping up and not being lazy and not being afraid to put yourself out of your comfort zone type situation, you know?
Like, I've had people who said, like, I'm real all the time. Like, I will give you my realness at all, like, every single moment. And, like, I don't know if I'm that way because I feel like everybody's unique and everybody's different. So you can be real now, and I probably don't know it, you know. But I've also been told myself that people don't take me seriously because I'm not real. Like, they'll think that me being happy all the time is fake.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that I'm never not happy. They just don't see it.
Yeah.
You're not there when it happens.
Exactly.
You know, like, you weren't there when I was unhappy with the fact that I got hit by a car and literally hit my head on the cement floor and was told by the doctor, like, I was this close to dying.
Yeah.
Like, dying.
Yeah, that's insane.
Like, that changed my whole perspective of things.
Exactly.
And what, people are like, what, were you smiling when it happened? Like, yo, what?
Yeah,
like, that makes no sense.
What kind of question is that?
So, like, you know, that whole thing about people saying, like, oh, I'm real. Like, all right, good. I'm happy for you because maybe I can't get to that, or maybe I have, and this is it.
Yeah.
But other people make that judgment as if because they don't see you as real, that you're not.
Yeah.
And it's like, who are you to judge?
Those people are, like, the same type of people because it's like, dude, you're not... I don't even know where I was really going with that. It's like, dude, you don't even understand, like... Put yourself in my shoes, you know? Like, you're just taking it from, like, an outside kind of perspective.
Yeah.
And you're not getting the whole story, you know?
Yeah.
It's like reading, like, the first sentence of an article and being like, this sucks, but you didn't read the entire article and you don't know, it could have gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
You know, or there could have been a lot more details regarding the situation that you're just thinking that sucks, you know?
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, it's a shame that people would say something like that to you.
Oh,
you know.
What happened is I used to get told all the time, like, people go, "Why are you smiling all the time?" To the point that, like, I became now self-conscious of it, and I go, "Wow, I do smile. Not that that's a bad thing." But then now there's people who, like, at some point would actually be like, "It's fake. You're not always happy." I'm like, "Well, I mean, I'm not always happy. You're just catching me at a happy time."
Yeah.
And it's like, well, are you sour about it? Like,
someone who says that is an asshole. Because it's like, why? You're clearly, like, a hater.
Yeah.
You know? Like, and anyone who says, like, I'm real all the time too, or like, you know, I'm not fake or whatever. Like, you don't need to say that. You know. I feel like you're afraid that people are gonna think that you are, and, like, for me, like, I don't give a shit what people think about me, and I know that I'm not fake, so I don't have to justify that to anybody.
Yeah.
You know, like, what you see is what you get, and, I mean,
Yeah.
beyond that, obviously, in company with certain, you know, in presence of certain company, I fucked that up. You have to kind of shift how you act, but that doesn't change who you are as a person. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like obviously, like if you're in the presence of like your boss, you have to be more respectful than how you might normally be, even though, and I wouldn't say that's sucking up either. It's no. You're not trying to be a negative kind of blip on the radar.
Yeah, exactly.
And also be disrespectful, you know? Like, if you're a respectful human to other humans, you know, like, that's all that really matters, you know? But
the way I'm with you is not the same person I'm with at the cashier at Dwayne Reed. Oh, yeah. You know, like, things like that. So, like, there are these, like, codes that you just kind of switch off, but just not to this extreme. It's just that you know how to act that appropriately to what comforts you. Like, I guess it's more about if you do it to your own belief, then it's like, cool, man, just do it your way. Like,
I also match energies, too. If someone is friendly to me, you sure as hell know I'm going to be friendly right back. But if you're coming at me, barking at me like the big dog, you're getting the pit bull, you know?
I gotta be more like you in that
I'm gonna bite you at that point in time because you're hollering at the wrong wrong dog.
There's people that will be like hollering at me like, ruh, and I'm like, hello.
Yeah.
But I feel like in a way it kind of like degrades their attitude.
I've noticed that, but at the same point in time, I've also seen you definitely hold your ground a lot more than you used to when you first started working at M&N, at least, you know? Like, I feel like you definitely reevaluated the situation, and you're like, all right, well, people think that they're just going to walk all over me or, like, talk shit to me or something like that. Like, nah, and, like, again, not to say that you paid attention to me, but, like, people up, like, upstairs or whatever, I don't let them talk down to me or whatever. Like, I feel like, especially in our kind of setting, like, we kind of they're like, it's like a teacher with kids, you know, like, you show them how you're going to act, and that you're not going to allow them to disrespect you or step on your toes, you know? It's all right to joke around every once in a while, but at a certain point, you know, like, there's a specific relationship, you know, or, like, way that you got to act around each other, and that's my point on, like, even if you're the realest person in the world, there's certain scenarios where you have to act a certain way. Yeah. Doesn't matter who the hell you are. And I mean, like, certain people don't get that. Certain people that we know. Yeah. I'm not going to mention their names, but I think you know who I'm talking about. And, I mean, just like that, where we think to ourselves, I thought it was common sense, like, how could this person act this specific type of way? It's unprofessional and
it's like, not gonna get you far.
Yeah, like, what are you trying to accomplish with that? You know, like, that's something that I've noticed in social situations is, like, if, like, beyond the fact of, like, if someone's disrespecting me, a lot of times I will just take the high road. Obviously, you're in different moods on different days, you know, based on what's happening in your life and shit. Yeah. What's happening that specific day, but
based on the weather.
Absolutely. not. I mean, like, it was a beautiful day today. I was in a great friggin' mood. It was also Friday. Great mood. Both of those things put me in an awesome, you know, state of mind today. Yeah. But shit, my point. I'm dying with that. What was my point?
No, like, the certain circumstances that you are in, like, that's how it's going to dictate how you carry yourself forward and stuff. Like,
exactly. So, and just the way that, like, I'll take the high road sometimes with people because I'll see them, like, trying to pick a fight with me, and I just don't want to. I don't want to have to deal with it. You know, like, I don't like to be negative. You know, like, I won't be disrespected, but I'm sure you're the same way. Like, it physically hurts to, like, have to, like, engage people in, like, you know, verbal altercations. Yeah. Or, like, you know, when the dude in the leather came in and was talking shit to you, you know, like, what's the point? Like, why are you doing this? Yeah. You know, like, why can't you just talk on a normal type of, you know, level ground.
Yeah.
And we'll move from there. Things will be a lot better.
Yeah.
Like, who are you? What are you doing?
Like, I don't understand how you coming at somebody in such a way already created this miscommunication before the communication even happened.
Yeah.
You know, like, just having a regular conversation to get an understanding of something will be sailing smoothly. But because you already kind of screwed it up before even introducing yourself, like, not a good look.
No.
Not at all.
Exactly. Well, and they say first impressions are everything. Like, that's why, like, you know, especially in bigger social situations, it's good to just keep your mouth shut, because it's like, analyze the situation.
Yeah.
Analyze it again, you know, before you think that you can just step up and be like the clown, you know, that's just like everyone's gonna laugh at.
Yeah.
You know? Like, people are super judgmental, and like, not to say that you shouldn't be who you are, but you definitely should realize that certain times it's just not good to be a dumbass, you know?
Yeah.
Just chill, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, beyond all this, I don't know how I got into this specific.
I would just say it's
rant.
a sense of balance. You know, balance yourself.
Just be self-aware. You know.
Yeah.
Realize, like, take a good step back and look at what you're doing and how you're acting and where you want to be and you know how you want people to view you. I guess you know you have control of all that, but how are you gonna ultimately?
I would hope and I would hope in a good way, like in a positive way for everybody to win, because if you're busy trying to make yourself out look like you're something else in a very like more like least productive way, then it's kind of selfish too. You're kind of just like, oh, it's all about me, and then that's not a big deal. It's not like the most highest thing in people's priority days. And
it's apparent to people too. Like, again, we're not stupid. Like, I see your motive, you know? Like, miss me with that shit. Obviously, like, you're just looking to benefit yourself, and then you're probably just gonna bounce, you know, or whatever. So,
and then there's actually one thing to mention that I read that you know how people share things these days. You just read it. You're not living your life if you're busy thinking about what other people are thinking of you.
Oh, yeah.
Because now you're just living this facade that you're like, oh, I hope this person looks at me this way. When it's like, wait, what about yourself? Why didn't you think about how you see yourself?
Exactly.
And I think that's what a lot of people are like not being able to do, is like see themselves where they, like from a third person, like how do I really want to see myself in my life? And then like chase that.
Yeah.
You know, as opposed to like short-term things and stuff like that.
Like, love yourself. You know, you have to, because no one else is going to do it for you, and no one's going to look out for you better and than yourself, you know?
Yeah.
I was thinking of another way to like hype that up even more than like better.
Like, know? I think one thing that I would like for people to see me as, but that's because I really want to see me as that, is like inspirational. Yeah. It's just being a human being who walks on this planet Earth, you know, for however long it decides to be, but is very like progressive for other people's lives, including myself. So, you know, that it just feels good, you know?
Exactly. But not in a way that like you need like constant gratification that like, yo, dude, like you're so inspirational.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's good to know, but like you're not seeking it, you know what I mean? Like, and I feel like that's the important part, because people do obviously try to do good things, but they also try to do it again for the likes and for the instant gratification and what is this person how does this person view me? Whereas, how do I view myself and what am I doing, like you're saying, you know? Like,
really quick shout out. This is the most sincere thing I really want to say to some people that I know who have personally reached out to me and said, Brian, I love what you're doing. I I've had people who told me, I remember when you like first started, or when we were in class and we did this, we were in school, and I love seeing what you're doing now. And that feels so great, because there's nothing else I can do but thank them by saying, like, you know, I live my life like just like you, but no one really takes the time out to say those things. So I wanted them, those individuals, to also know that I think of you when I want to gratify myself of doing something, because you reminded me, you know? And I think that's one of the most amazing things ever is someone who's like grinding, living their life, their path, but they take the time out to be like, hey, I seen what you did, and that was great, and I'm proud of you.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like, and it's not something about like, oh, you're proud of me now if I've succeeded in my life. And it's like, no, because I want to be proud of me.
Yeah.
But because they said that they're proud of me, I feel like that's a big step for them to reach out and say that, because a lot of people don't do that.
Oh, no, of course not. Of course
so
not.
I just really want to say I appreciate you individuals who write to me and tell me how proud of the things that I've been doing, and many, many thanks.
People don't realize how important supporting one another each other is. Again, I messed that up. I realized after I said that sounded completely stupid. We have to support one another because, again, being jealous and being competitive in certain walks of life is just, it's ugly, you know? And it when I, like, the same way that you were just saying, when I get the feedback that I want, which isn't enough, by the way, so I need more feedback. When I do get that feedback, you don't realize how not only good it feels, but how much it motivates me to want to do that much, like, more, like, better, you know? And, like, put out that much better of a product and do more podcasts and get better, like, cooler, funnier, like, you know, just interesting guests, and be consistent with it, you know? Just, like, I feel like people don't understand that, like, we need to help each other out.
Yeah.
Because
and it may not even
important.
be it may not even be direct. Someone could put on their post or a story about me doing my work ethics, like filmmaking, and then probably get contacted by their friend that they probably haven't heard from a long time, because we all just follow each other for years and years and years.
Exactly.
They'll go, oh, wow, like, your friend that you just posted, he does your filmmaking, and you're like, yeah, he's a great guy, you know everything about him personally. Oh, well, I'm about to have a wedding, or I'm about to have this event, or a baptism, like we mentioned earlier. Could you get me in contact with him? And that's one connection you just made that was just a simple, like, just as out of appreciation. Like, here's something about Brian or anybody else, because, like, I have a friend who does who specializes in massage therapy, and really great, like, things about, like, your body. Like, man, it's important to know about your body and how you breathe and all these important things. And, like, I'll share her stuff because I don't know if I have a friend who's out in California who might see that I shared that, and now they're like, dang, I've been looking for a place to do this.
Yeah.
Boom. Instant connection right there.
How hard was that for you, number one? Not hard at all.
Not difficult.
How much did it cost you to do that?
Free.
$99.
Like, it literally just takes not even like 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And
I say that all the time about the sharing of posts and the subscribing. Like, it's not costing you anything, people. Like, you act like YouTube, you need, like, a paid subscription or some shit. You know? Like, yeah, you act like sharing, like, a Facebook business post is the hardest thing in the entire world.
Yeah.
Or even liking it or commenting on it. When I get comments on my posts, on my YouTube videos, on anything, it's like, it gives me an idea of what people are looking for. And it also, like, when I see, like, you share my podcast, like, interested in podcasts, like, check this out. Like,
yeah.
It makes me happy to know that more people are being exposed to it that I don't know these people, but maybe they'll check it out because obviously they trust your word.
Yeah, and it's not like I had a loss from it.
Exactly.
I shared something that I believe that when I watched your show, I'm like, no, this guy has good content because he's interviewing these people about these specific topics, and it's just like I shared it. It was free. It just took like 15 seconds, and maybe a friend of mine who is interested in podcasts will be like, oh, let me check it out.
Exactly.
And now they like on some like, wow, like he's really good.
Exactly.
You know, same thing like with my brother with his photography. Like he'll take really incredible shots, and then I'll share it because you never know when someone has an event coming in. They're like, oh, you know, a photographer, cool. Put me in connection with this person.
Give him a shout out.
Photos by JB, my brother Jonathan Breton.
There you go.
Doing his thing. You know, important person in my life.
Hell yeah.
I cannot stress that anymore.
And you guys do gigs together too.
Yeah, we do gigs together. So like that's just incredible as well because
awesome.
it's like it's a family business. We rock out, we have fun, we do our job. The clients love us. We just like being in really dope environments.
And you don't have a boss breathing down your neck.
No.
Saying like stop messing around, guys. Or
Yeah,
whatever,
no.
You guys know what's good. You're professional. No one has to tell you to be professional. You just do your thing.
Yeah,
you guys
man.
know what you're doing, and you know it's amazing that you guys are both in the same field per se, doing the same shit. You're both really good at it. You know? But I'm sure you also learn shit from him. He's probably learned some stuff from you. Like,
it's just the wealth just generates all around.
It's incredible.
The information just keeps going.
And the selflessness is the reason. You know, you can't grip onto that shit. You gotta, you know, spread the wealth, share the wealth. You know, as I say. So.
Let's say you know someone who just opened up a taekwondo like gym. Like, why wouldn't I want my friend to win? Like, yo, here are people who's interested in taekwondo. He just opened up a dope shop like right over here or storefront, whatever. And it's like, I didn't lose anything from that.
Exactly. And on that note, if you guys need a wedding videographer, photographer, if you're promoting suits, or if you have any idea of a video that you might want to do, I'm going to need you to hit up my man, Mr. Brian Breton.
Thank you.
Instagram.
Yeah. At Brian_Breton. Just keeping it really simple. So it's just first name, last name, until maybe someday it becomes something else and I can rebrand, which I'm kind of hoping for. No, sorry, not kind of hoping for. I'm hoping for
Definitely hoping for.
But I love collaborating, so that's a big thing. I love hearing other people's ideas because they'll say something I didn't think of. I'm like, whoa, your brain's cool.
That's
like,
sick, you clearly like thought about this. Hit him up because he is very creative and definitely could give you the product that you're looking for.
Yeah.
And beyond that, also check his brother's page out, Photos by JB, you said?
Yeah.
Check him out because he's also another very talented photographer, videographer. Beyond that, check out Banana Bit.
That's right, at Banana Bit, if you just want to see dope content. That's all I'm going to say.
Spell that.
All right, so it's at and then BANO. N-O. I was about to respell what I just spelled. BANONOIT. No, wait. Whoa.
One more
Hold
time.
On. I got this. So it's at BANONOBIT.
Ding.
I'm about to draw it out. Like, here it is. But yeah, if you're just interested in just content all around, because it's just like a creative freedom of expression, comedy stuff, artistic stuff that I'll just like come to mind or inspired. I wanna really show like that I don't just like, boom, I just came out with this idea or the thought came to me. It's like, nah, I come across pages and I get inspired and I'm like, let me try it myself. It's a good exercise. It's a good way to learn your talents and your creations, and it's just fun to do. So why not?
Exactly. So. And YouTube.
Oh, yeah, YouTube, the same thing, Banana Bit.
And you have a professional one also,
My
right?
professional website is brianbreton.com.
Okay. Hit up brianbreton.com,
Yeah.
and you will find, I'm sure, some previous works.
Yeah, previous works, an About Me section where
That's
I
right.
actually took the time out to write about myself as
And he's a great
as
guy.
great
so
as I could.
I'm sure I'm going to check that out afterwards, actually, because I want to learn more.
Yeah. So
Yeah, no. So yeah, hit up brianbreton.com.
That's when you put like the www.brianbreton.com.
Yeah, I don't know anyone who I do know some people that still put www, but anyone who's on the internet nowadays, you don't have to put that. Even if you hit enter, it'll just change it to like the HTTPS.
Yeah. Backslash.
Colon.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you don't need www, but definitely check out brianbreton.com and check him out everywhere else.
Facebook, you just type in Brian Breton, it'll come up with like me, my business page,
Okay.
and that has like everything connected to it.
Got that really cool picture, the purple picture with like the camera and shit.
Again, inspired by doing some, visual effects and compositing in Photoshop, and
Hell yeah.
that was fun.
That shit is awesome. Got some like, I feel like some like the trails on it
Yeah,
and shit, right?
like the light trails.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely check that out. And and anything else that you have either coming up or that you might want to close on?
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say what Jim Carrey said in that.
Oh
one.
yeah. What is it that he goes? On the right foot. I'm trying to think now. Do I have anything that I would just say anything that's upcoming, it would just be on, like, it would be just pending things that are just happening along the way. Because right now I'm just kind of just doing it, just doing whatever comes to me, and I just try to disperse it in a very healthy way where it's like, all right, I'll work on this a little, do a little bit of this. But yeah, nothing really in particular, just having fun with it.
Nice. Hell yeah. Well, and that's why we love you, man, because you happy-go-lucky and not taking things too serious.
Yeah.
But also taking his work serious in the professional aspect. And that's it. Brian Breton, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. See you guys next time. Peace.